Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashers, and today we are having fun with pizza. It's the way you like it. We're going to make a homemade pizza crust. We're going to make the sauce to go on top of the pizza. All sorts of toppings. I've got some friends coming over and we're just going to have fun. Little pizza party. We've got roasted garlic, which I absolutely love. You can use that in many different ways, even to top pizza. We're having Amaretti Cookies, which are an almondy, chewy cookie that's absolutely fabulous. And we're going to have a salad. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is start on our crust. And we are going to put some salt and some sugar into a lovely big bowl. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Got the EVOO going here. And we are going to stir that up just a touch, get it going here. And I'm going to turn my hot water on. I'm lucky. I've got a water that actually gets to the temperature we need. We need about 115-degree water so our yeast activates, because we're going to use dry yeast. We're going to use 3 tablespoons, but we've got to get our water first. That's a cup of hot water. Let's see where we're at. And I'm just going to check it. I can use a candy thermometer, and we're going to see how quick this comes up to 115. And it is rising. Okay, it's perfect. We're ready to put it in with our olive oil, salt, and sugar. And we're going to do another stir. I want that sugar and salt to completely dissolve. Okay, looks good. Now it's time for our yeast, and we're using 3 teaspoons of dry yeast. And we're just going to sprinkle it on the top. And 3. Now this is something that's going to have to sit for a few minutes, but before it sits we're going to stir it around. Want everything off the sides, and let this start working and bubbling. While I'm doing that and we're waiting, I'm going to go over to start our sauce. I have some water boiling here, and I've got some Roma tomatoes that I've scored right across the top with a cross, and these are going to go in because we've got to take the skins off of our tomatoes. And I'm using 8 to 10 Roma tomatoes for our sauce. So we'll get that started. Let's go to our garlic. Roasted garlic. Wonderful stuff. I absolutely love it. So simple and easy. Great accompaniment to any Italian meal. And what I'm going to do is, well, first I better take a little bit of this off here. Don't want much, because you want to keep the peel on. But we're going to cut the top of the garlic off. You want to cut the tip edge off, and we're going to get rid of that. You can see that the garlic is exposed. And I'm going to take a piece of tin foil and place that right on top. And we're going to do a couple cloves as we go, because I like garlic a whole lot, and I know that the ladies that's going to be with me this afternoon really like garlic too. Okay, and one more. Boy, that garlic smells great. I'm just going to put them all around the center there. Let's get rid of that. Bring this up here. And all I'm going to do, move some of that skin out of the way, is pour olive oil right on top. Soak it good. And sprinkle a little bit of salt on the top. We're going to get this nice and tight at the top because I want it to be secure. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the bottom of my baking dish, and this goes right there. We're going to put it in a 350 oven. It's going to stay in between 45 minutes and an hour. Usually I leave it about an hour and it comes out perfect. All right, let's check these tomatoes. Okay, they're ready to come out. Let's turn this off. You can see how they actually split a little bit more, and we're going to let these cool while I go back to my dough. So we're ready there, and I'm going to be very industrious and pour my water out because I'm going to use this same pot for my sauce. Okay, put it right back there. And we're ready to look at our yeast. Okay, this looks perfect. Take a look at how the yeast has started to bubble, and you can see the olive oil looks great. Now, we're going to add about a half of a cup of flour at a time. Just going to put it in and start stirring. You'll be able to see the consistency starting to get heavier and heavier as we go. As soon as it starts to really come together, we are going to take it out of our bowl. But let's get this flour in. You can use whole wheat flour. You can use a gluten-free recipe if you're making your own pizza dough. Alright, time to get flour out and flour my board just a little bit. And also, you want to flour your hands too, because it's going to be sticky to begin with and warm. Get all the flour. And what we're going to do is knead it, and we're going to knead it for about 5 minutes. Want everything to turn into a beautiful, smooth, elastic dough. And this is enough for one about 15-inch pie. You can see how easy it is to knead. And if it gets a little too sticky, we have a little bit of flour over here. We can add a little bit more flour. And I'm going to form it into a ball. Let it sit for just a second. Now I have another large bowl, and we are going to take a little bit of olive oil, put a little bit in the bottom, and grab me a paper towel, and I'm just going to make sure the sides and bottom are well coated. And in it goes. Nice ball. And I want just enough of the olive oil. Little bit of that on the sides. Okay, we're going to cover this, let it set for about 30 minutes till it doubles in size. Then we'll be ready to start making our pizza. put in a nice warm place. We're going to have a quick message from our sponsor, and we'll be right back to finish our sauce.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
Welcome back. I've already started peeling my tomatoes, and they're nice and cool. We're going to get the core out and put them in the food processor. So just give it a nice slice down the middle. Take the center out with most of the seeds in the core. And into the food processor it goes. Just like that. Alright, now I've got 3 cloves of garlic that I already have peeled, and I'm going to throw that in. I've got a shallot, and shallots have a milder taste than onion, but I like the taste of it in my sauce, so we're going to throw that in. Let me grab my top. I'm going to put in some salt and some pepper, fresh ground. And now we are going to puree it. Stop it every once in a while and keep it going. Now let's take a look. Looks great. Now I've got a lovely pink sauce, and it's going to go right back in to my pan. And we're ready to start the cooking process again. I'm going to turn this on medium. Get that on there. I've got tomato paste, and I'm going to put about 4 tablespoons of tomato paste in with my fresh Roma tomatoes. And then we're going to stir. Want to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer for a few minutes, and it'll be ready for our pizza top. While I'm stirring, take a look at our dough. You can see how it has doubled in size. We're going to have to punch that down in just a few minutes and get it ready to go into the oven. Okay, this has boiled beautifully. We're going to turn it down on low, and I've got to get my garlic out of the oven. It should be ready by now. Smells absolutely fabulous, so ooh. Let's take a quick look. Now, if this cools for about 5 minutes, we'll be able to just squeeze that garlic right out. It's ready to go. So I'm going to set this over here. And it looks like our sauce is really going to town. Let's turn that off because it's ready. Just going to leave that spoon there. Let me grab a towel. Okay, we've got some final ingredients to put in. Let's move this out of the way. I've got some Italian seasoning, and if you'd like, you can use oregano, just straight oregano. That goes right in. And I've got some basil, and I love fresh basil the way it smells. About 6 leaves, and I'm just going to roll it together and give it a nice chop, nice and small. That's one thing that I really enjoy, garlic and basil. Throw in some tomatoes. I'm a happy camper. Okay, now we're going to give it a stir and let that sit. And while we get our pizza stone ready, I wanted to tell you about a couple other little things that you can use. Let me move this right over here. You can see I have a pizza stone right here. I like to cook on the pizza stone. There is, of course, the regular pizza pie tin. And if you want a crispier crust, you can use a screen that has holes in it. There's also a pan like this one that has holes in it for a crispier crust. All right, let's move this right over here. And I'm going to get my stone ready. Let's get some olive oil. Just pour about a tablespoon right in the center. Let me get a paper towel. Paper towels are so wonderful. You can use them for so many things. And we're going to spread this olive oil out to the very edges of this pizza stone. Just want it light. And that's going to go right back here. You think you got a little more than you need, just keep wiping. Okay, dough time. Take a look, it's ready. I'm going to punch it down. And get some flour. Just need a tiny bit. And I'm going to put this right on the center of my plate. Let's bring this back. And I'm going to put just a tiny bit of oil on my hands. And we're going to spread this dough out. You want to spread it just as thin as you can. And if you like a thicker crust, leave a little bit out there at the edge. I like a thick crust. And knuckles are good for that. Just make sure it's nice and even. I don't toss. I haven't learned that skill yet. Okay, crust is ready. Let me grab a fork real fast, because we're going to prick so we don't have bubbles in our crust. All right, now it's time for our sauce. Now with the sauce, use a ladle and just take a nice heaping ladleful, put it right in the center, and then get another one. I like about 2. You might need 3. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take our ladle, circle, and we'll see how much more we need. And we're going to need a little bit more. Best part about this is when you make it, you can save this excess for dipping. That's what my husband loves to do. He likes that extra sauce to dip. All right, believe it or not, that's enough sauce. we're going to take my favorites, shredded mozzarella cheese all over the top. And I use about 2 cups total. But you can be real generous. I love cheese and so do the kids. So today I'm just doing a standard pepperoni, but later for the party we're going to have all sorts of toppings. You can use all veggie, you can use all sorts of meats. I'm using some pepperoni, and it takes about 18 slices, depends how much you like on your pie. And 1 in the middle. Now I've got some Portobello mushrooms, and I am going to just cut up some portobellos. Let's put that so you can see it. Just a nice thin slice. Let's put some mushrooms. Sometimes if you have a real watery vegetable, you might want to pre-cook it. You can caramelize some onions. You can even pre-cook your mushrooms if you'd like. I love just about the kitchen sink on the top of a pizza. Okay, this is going to go into a oven that I have already preheated at 450, and it's going to go for about 15 minutes. We want the crust to be nice and brown. I'm going to put some more cheese on top. Nice and cheesy. And don't peek. Once it goes in, it's in. Okay, I'm going to clean up for a few minutes. We'll have a word from our sponsors, Lowe's Foods, and I'll be back with you to make our Amaretti cookies.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
I'm making our Amaretti cookies. The first thing that I've been doing is making my egg whites. 2 egg whites beaten to stiff peaks. Okay, they are ready. Now, let's get our almonds. We have a ½ pound of almonds with the shells on, and I'm going to put those in my processor. We're going to do that again. I almost want almond dust. Now I'm going to put in my sugar. Just put your sugar in. A little bit of salt. Cinnamon. And we're going to blend it all up again. Amaretti is also called Amaretto Cookies, and sometimes if you want, you can put in Amaretto liqueur. You can even put in just Amaretto or almond flavoring. Today I'm just going to make it for the family, and we are going to use only the ingredients that I've got on the menu. I need to put in lemon zest, and about one lemon should do it. This flavor is absolutely fabulous. I love these cookies because they're lovely and chewy. They've got such a warm flavor, especially with a cup of coffee. Can't beat it. Okay, now let's stir that in. And in goes our egg whites. And we don't have to be particular about the egg whites in this recipe. Just put them all in and mix it all up. You want to make sure that all of the ingredients get wet. And that egg white is what's going to make that happen. Okay, let me grab a little fork here. This is a very sticky mixture, of course, because of the egg whites. And we want to make sure that every little bit of nut gets it. Okay. You can see right now how the mixture is got a lovely wet look. And what we're going to do is grab my pan. It's a lightly buttered pan, and I just took stick butter and took it all around. You can take a teaspoon if you want and form your little balls. This goes about an inch and a half apart. And just press the top just a little bit before it goes to the next one. All right, looks like the last one's on my cookie sheet, and it's going in the oven. 350 for about 15 minutes. That's something you need to watch to make sure that the edges don't get too brown, because you don't want the bottom to burn. Okay, I'm going to have company in just a few minutes, so I'm going to go clean up the kitchen while we take a short break, and we'll see you back to see all of our goodies from today's show.
ATMC TV and the Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. For over 25 years, the Holden Brothers Farm Market has specialized in the freshest locally grown produce on their 250 acres in Charlotte. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17, or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
You can see my friends have arrived, and we're getting ready to have the Way I Like It pizza party. I've got all sorts of toppings, and I've got the dough ready for individual pizzas. All right, girls, dig in.
This looks great, Karen.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Delicious.
Got all sorts of cheese and prosciutto, olives. We are happy to have all these wonderful fresh ingredients, and we're going to put it all together, bake these little pizzas, and we'll be back to see you after we have a word from our sponsor.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17, or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
What a fun day I have had today. Pizza as you like it. We have our garlic that's been roasted in the oven. I've made a tossed salad that I've included salami, mozzarella, and fresh melons with a balsamic vinaigrette. I've got my lovely Amaretti Cookies, and we're ready to have fun with all the different ways that we can make our pizza. Just remember, look for us on Facebook. Search for the Coastal Kitchen. We have lots of recipes and little tips, and we'll see you next time on the Coastal Kitchen.
This is ATMC TV Channel 3. We bring you the best of Brunswick.